Hey, come here. I want to let you in on a little secret. This right here, the DJI Power 1000, is probably one of the best deals in tech right now. And I've had it for over a year. And in today's video, I'm going to talk a little bit about that year's experience and why I think if you don't own a portable power supply, you may want to consider getting one after watching this video. Let's get started. What's good, everybody? Ken here. You're watching OriginaldoBo, and today we're talking about the DJI Power 1000. Not only is it a great deal right now, I think it's almost $300 off, which is pretty darn impressive. I think I saw this listed on DJI site for like $479, and if you look on Amazon, you can even find it even cheaper. There's like $419. Now, don't hold me to that pricing because pricing can always be subject to change. But just know right now, the sale that they are having on this is making people that weren't considering this consider it. And it's also going to be one of the lowest price power supplies that is also the most capable on the market. Now, I did a whole full review about 7 months ago. So we're not going to go knee deep into the specs. We're not going to bore you with all this crazy crap. I just want to give you sort of my experience and talk about how I have used this and how this has saved my ass during the hurricane, which if I didn't have this, I probably would have been pretty screwed and I probably would have lost half of what was in my fridge. So first things first, let's go over some specs really quickly. We have a 1024 watt hour battery. We have 2000 watts of power with a peak wattage of 2600 watts. You're capable of fast charging this in up to 70 minutes. So you can go from almost zero to full in 70 minutes, which is pretty incredible. There's a little switch on the front where you can choose how fast this actually charges. We have two USB-C ports on the front, which are capable of delivering over 100 watts of power. That's for fast charging as well. I use it a lot of times for my MacBook or my Mavic 3 batteries. We also have two USB-A ports, and then we have two power outlets. Now the power outlets are on their separate power turn-on switch, which means that these outlets are not always active, which is nice. That's a great safety feature, especially if you have younger children. You can turn those on and off. Some power supplies that I've seen leave those outlets always on, so it's nice to see that there's some safety built in. You also get two SDC ports on this. This is going to allow you to fast charge your drone batteries. You can fast charge a single or a double drone battery with some attachments. Or you can run your solar panels and recharge this when you do not have power or if you were off grid to try to capture some of that power back, which is what I ended up doing when the hurricanes hit. Not only that, you get two really nice handles, which makes this very easy to, put in the back of your truck, car, take it to the beach, wherever. And it only weighs 28 pounds. And I say it only weighs 28 pounds, but 28 pounds is really not all that heavy. So just to put that in perspective, I mean, that's just like sort of curling a dumbbell, well, a really awkward dumbbell, but I digress. There's also a fan in here for active cooling, and the battery is capable of being charged for up to 4,000 cycles while still maintaining 70% of its life expectancy, which is crazy. Think about it, 4,000 cycles. You're never gonna charge that enough to make this not worth the price you're going to pay for it, especially right now. So why would you need a power supply like this, or why would you need portable power? I think for me, most importantly, is I'm a videographer and a photographer. I'm constantly in the field. I'm constantly working with clients and in between shoots, and I needed a way to be able to charge my equipment in transit. Now, having bought a Kia Soul, there was no power supply options. There was no plug-in outlets. There was nothing in the back of the vehicle, which left me looking for solutions. It so happened that I bought the Kia in November, and this literally arrived on my doorstep probably about 4 to 5 days later. So it's lived in the back of the car, and I feel like it's the perfect fit. I can still put all my gear back there, and I can still charge everything relatively swiftly. I also use the Specta drone, and if you're not familiar with Specta, it's sort of like a white label Mavic Air 3, and I use that mostly because there is no geofencing. I only have one battery for it, so I rely heavily on this to be able to charge the battery with the SDC port as fast as I possibly can. It has been absolutely key for me to keep that battery charged, especially with some of these clients, because not having that, I don't know what I would have done. So being able to charge batteries really quickly, almost about 20 minutes faster than I normally would with this, is really, really amazing. So I know it's crazy to say as a Floridian, I don't have a generator, but I don't have a generator. But I do have this, and at the time I had the Power 500 and the Power 1000. Now, why am I saying at the time? My assistant photographer didn't have anything either, so I ended up giving him the Power 500 so he can use. But when we lost power for 72 hours, I was able to plug my refrigerator into this and let it run. I think it ran for a full 24 hours while we were also charging our phones, which is incredible. Now, we were being cautious. I wasn't opening up the fridge so that way it would, cycle through. Now, the key thing with the fridge is while it's always on, it does its refrigeration cycle, so it actually draws a little bit less power than you would normally think. You would think a fridge is just constantly pumping, but it does go through cycles, and this was able to power that no problem. Not only that, this maintained what I would consider to be a pretty relatively quiet state, which was sort of nice, which a generator is just noisy. And then, when you go to bed at night, you still have your generator on and it wakes the neighbors. So we were able to keep all of our food from spoiling. And then what I would do is the next day I would take this outside, connect to SDC ports, and have 2 solar panels going to try to capture some of that energy back. And this did work until we got our power back and I was able to use this. And I think I even made coffee with this, which was pretty fantastic. I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have this. I probably should have had a generator, but I feel like if I had maybe 1 or 2 of these are fantastic for you guys that live here in Florida and you want to be storm ready. This is a great solution. The battery is also very, very safe. So it's a new formula, and I'm probably gonna butcher what this formula of battery actually is. I always butcher the name. Okay, so the cell chemistry is a LFP. Here we go. I'm going to try to pronounce this. It's a lithium ferrophosphate. I think I did pretty good. Anyways, it's capable of keeping this thing running 4,000 cycles and up to 70% capacity after much use, which is pretty great. I know about being here in Florida, a lot of people are sort of skeptical on these because they're like, it may not do enough for them. But I think if you're here and you want an alternative to a generator to power a fridge, a fan, maybe even a portable AC unit during a storm, this is going to be your best fit solution. I did go ahead and order a second one of these, only because I feel like this one's getting pretty beat being in the back of the trunk. There is a ton of scars, a ton of scratches on this, but it works flawlessly. I even had one of my USB-C ports break off and I was able to basically pluck it out and that still works perfectly fine. So that definitely speaks volumes to the build quality of this, but also because I'm already in the DJI ecosystem and a lot of what they have designed as far as the accessories and add-ons really convey around the drones that I'm already using. It makes my life so much more simple. But right now, at the time of recording, DJI is running a massive sale on the Power 1000. And I think the Power 500 is getting some sale as well, but it's nowhere near as advantageous as it is for the DJI Power 1000. I saw on Amazon just yesterday, you can pick this up for $419, which is mind-boggling. And on DJI's website, if you want to order directly, it's $479. Now, this was a $1,000 unit when it was first launched, and now you can get it for almost $600 off. That is pretty mind-blowing when you think about it. Now, keep in mind, at the time of recording, prices are always subject to change, and I don't know how long supplies are going to last on this sale. Given the fact that it is the holiday and this is a bigger type of item, you are going to want to order it sooner rather than later so it can meet the destination if you are buying it as a gift. But even if you're not buying it as a gift, I feel like this would be a great choice for if you are somebody that lives in a coastal area that is subject to storms, hurricanes, or power loss like myself. If I didn't have this, I would have been absolutely screwed. I would not have been able to do any of my work. So I'm pretty thankful that I was able to get one of these when I did. And I did go ahead and order another one because I think I paid I think after tax, I'm paying like $456 through Amazon, and it'll be delivered next week. So I'm gonna have a second one of these as well, which I think will be very handy, especially in my line of work. But there you go. That's my overall experience having used the DJI Power 1000 for 365 days. It's held up fantastically. It's one of the best purchases, and it's even gotten better now since they've reduced the price. I think the reduction of the price is going to have a lot of people interested in this. Matter of fact, a good friend of mine texted me just the other day and he was like, should I buy this? He goes, I don't need one, but how can I pass this deal up? So shout out to Lon for using the affiliate link. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. If you have any questions or you want to know more about this, be sure to check that link for my full review. That's where I'm going to go into deeper into the discussion of the Power 1000 and Power 500. But I will see you back in the next video. As always, stay original. And if you enjoyed this video and the audio, this is all the DJI Mic Mini. So if you like this, check out that video as well. I'll put a card up here or a link in the description below for you to look into that. I'll see you next time. Stay original.